This man right here is a fraud. And yes, I'm talking about Mark from Invincible, not to be confused with his other variants and clones from other dimensions and universes. I'm talking about season 3 Mark and his actions that make him fraudulent. Before I get started, I just want to introduce myself. Hello, I'm Money Monsoon. I watch Invincible week by week like many of you do, I'm sure. And after watching episode 7 in season 3, I just felt a need to make this video because this is crazy. Invincible is not the character I feel like he claims to be, or at least I thought he was for the longest time. And if any of you guys are wondering about the moment I'm talking about, the moment that kind of flipped my perspective on Mark and kind of made me a little bit of a J. Jonah Jameson type of hater on Spider-Man on Invincible, it is this moment right here where Adam Eve is in the hospital after being put into a coma by the other Mark variants, and Mark decides to stay by her side, and it's only like day 2 or 3 of the clones destroying the world, and the world very much needs his help, and he decides to stay at Adam Eve's bedside until she wakes up, and she doesn't wake up yet. And that act may seem noble, but there's like other factors that play into that make me just not really side with Mark in this specific case. Like at one point Cecil walks into the room. Actually, at multiple points Cecil walks into the room. But at one point he makes the point that Mark's mother, they have no idea what Mark's mother is. And Oliver is out fighting alongside the other superheroes. Both of his family members that he's lived with and interacted with like done near daily are in trouble. And he, as the strongest superhero, someone who is clearly has the power and is clearly capable at the moment, is talking about no, I'm not leaving this room. I'm not going out to fight. I don't care. I don't know why he was getting that attitude. He's worked with Cecil before. Like if anyone should know that, like, Adam Eve was for sure safe right there. I don't think we've seen any of the heroes get attacked while they're healing or in the hospital in Invincible. So, like, there wasn't really a clear threat of danger. And Mark, for whatever reason, is staying inside the hospital and letting his clones, like, literally, like, if anyone should feel the most importance to act as of right now, like, his own clones from other dimensions are attacking the world. He should be the one trying to clean this up the most, but he's not. And he's the strongest. And that kind of just got to me. Like, that's not the Invincible I remember in the past 2 seasons at all, right? Like, Invincible, I feel like as a character, he changed. Like, if anything that we learned about this show watching Invincible is that Invincible isn't actually invincible at all. He's getting his ass beat every episode, and he's probably the one character that we see with the most injuries throughout the show. He is not invincible. But if there's anything that at least I thought was invincible about Invincible, was his will to keep going, his will to keep his values and persevere and keep fighting. Like, he's still fighting for another tomorrow. He's still fighting to be a superhero and all this stuff. That's what's invincible is Adam, his will to never give up. And we see this as he like fights with Anissa. He's stubborn to not say that he's going to collaborate with the Viltrum Empire. When he was fighting his dad, he somehow got lucky enough to keep talking to his dad and get him to change his mind and leave the planet instead of like destroying more. Like, there could have been way more destruction, but he was somehow able to turn it around. That part of him I thought was invincible. But then, like, this moment right here where, like, Cecil's talking about your mother and brother are in danger, and he's talking about no, I don't want to help. I want to stay right here, and I'm not leaving this room. When this conflict concerns him the most. Like, I'm sure, like, if Invincible was more active in this episode, Rex wouldn't have died. That's my opinion. Like, I don't think Rex would have died at all. So yeah, this is very, very much disappointing to me. I can't even think that about Invincible anymore. Like, Invincible's will to fight, will to go on, it's not invincible. If anything, the only thing invincible about Invincible is his ego. I feel like he thinks the conflict between him and Cecil is more important than the conflict of his variants and destroying the world. And I don't know what else to say about that. That's just kind of crazy. Like, let me paint a picture for you guys. Like, when I go to work out and I'm on the treadmill, I'm suffering, right? Like, I'm doing cardio and I'm out of breath and I'm thinking like, oh, I can't go on. I think I might just give up right here. What I think to myself in that moment, what I've actually thought to myself is, would Invincible give up? Would Invincible stop going? Invincible's getting his ass beat, but he doesn't give up. He keeps going. And then I keep going, and then I get more energy to keep going. I fear that I may no longer be able to think that anymore. That was a season 1 and 2 exclusive event. I can no longer call upon the strength of Invincible to keep going. And it's mainly just because of this moment. Like, this one moment showed like a crack in his invincible will to fight. Like, and I mean, this whole season, one could argue that Mark's been making some questionable choices. I, for one, has been Invincible defender. Like, I was talking to some people who watched Invincible, and they actually just hate Mark. Well, not hate, but like really disagree with Mark as a character just because of how hypocritical he is with like the case with his dad and Nightwing. Like, it's pretty much night and day, but he's more willing to forgive his dad and whatever. And I was still more of an Invincible defender. Like, I was defending Invincible just because, like, he was someone who still trying to stay on the path of good, and he's still trying to not give up, even though the whole world is telling him that he sucks and to give up. If anyone was defending him, it would be me. But now, like, I'm not even gonna move a muscle to defend him anymore. I don't know where his character is really going now. It could really go anywhere because he doesn't feel like the same character he was in the first couple of seasons. That's all I can really say on that. I'm not a complete J. Jonah type hater, but if he keeps this up and he keeps acting on like just his ego and not like the safety of the world, like him staying in the hospital made me think that like he didn't really care about all the people who are dying, all the people that he could save. Like even Spider-Man, if he got to the point where he knew Mary Jane was safe in the hospital and recovering in the hospital, and he knew that Aunt May might be in danger, like he would go out immediately and try and save Aunt May. Spider-Man is someone who makes those hard decisions, and maybe that's why he's seen as like a bigger hero or something. And Invincible has some pretty hard choices, and so far I felt like he was making the right choices, but very questionable choice he made in this episode. That's about like the full extent of my rant. I feel like I got most of what I wanted to say out of my head. If there's any Invincible fans that watch this video, let me know what y'all think, because my opinion completely changed on Mark. I want to know if there's still anyone coming to defend Mark after all this. It just feels crazy. This man is a fraud, so let me know. I'll catch y'all later.